It's my first podcast of 2019. I can't believe it's 2019. And the holidays went by fast. I'm sure they did for you too. And then it was New Year's, and now here we are. I didn't do a podcast last Monday because I think it was New Year's Day or New Year's Eve. Anyway, I had a different topic completely planned for the launch of this year. And then last night, as my annual wonderful thing that I get to do with my dear friend April Schroeder, we sat on our couch in our sweatpants and our fuzzy socks. She traveled here with her own fuzzy sock with her, because that's how we roll around here, and watch the Golden Globes. So we were able to watch the red carpet, which is always fun. It's just fun. It kicks off the award season. It starts to make you think of springtime. And the reason I know a lot of people love the awards for the fashion and, the style and the hair and makeup. And yes, I do love that. But what is always my most favorite is just waiting to hear who gives a great speech. I love a great acceptance speech. And there was a lot of surprises last night, which is also kind of fun. But because before that, it kind of seemed like, a little bit predictable of who everyone thought was going to win. And particularly in the category of Best Actress, I think most people thought it was going to be Lady Gaga. And when Glenn Close won as a surprise, it ended up being just one of my most favorite parts of the night. Her speech was, it was just touching. And I haven't seen the movie called The Wife. It seems like her speech kind of referenced the reality of that in her life and her relationship with her mother. And just, it ended up being really incredible, so much to the point that I, this morning went back and just they had the sound bite from it, and it was just so happened to be my favorite part too on Good Morning America, and then again on The View. But when we were watching last night, I got a beautiful text from our daughter Tiana saying, "Mom, Glenn Close," basically she was saying, Glenn is saying the same stuff that you've been saying my whole life, which when I thought about it, it was true, just about finding your passion. I think it's every single one of our responsibility, whether you're male or female, whether your role is nurture, a mother. Here's her quote that she said. She said, "Women, we are nurturers, and that's what's expected of us. We have our children, we have our husbands, if we're lucky enough, our partners, whatever. We have to find personal fulfillment. We have to follow our dreams. We have to say, I can do that, and I should be allowed to do that." And it was cool too, because she went on to tell the story of how she was this young girl that would watch Disney movies and referenced Haley Mills, which I totally forgot about her. She was like a Disney actress. And she said she would sit in her house watching, going, I can do that. And I thought it was powerful, because it takes bravery to look at something and to think that it's not unattainable. In what we do for a living, it's an interesting thing, because we're going up to people, or they're coming to us, or however the ends up that they're a part of Mother. It's much more challenging than you would think to say to somebody, here's an opportunity, and here's the possibility, and it could be all yours, and watch what unfolds from there. It's interesting and sometimes sad that people put restraints on what they allow themselves to do, what they think they're capable of, very frequently what they think other people think that they should be doing. So they base life choices on what they think they're supposed to do, or what they're comfortable doing, Or they'll say, I'm going to, okay, I believe it to a point. I'm going to give it a year, which I know I've said multiple times on these podcasts because I've heard it so frequently. A time restraint on how long it's going to take. The other really cool thing about the speech last night with by Karlie Kloss is that she was like, I've been doing this 45 years. And there's times as we're over 2 decades into what we do, and you're proud and you go, wow, 2 decades in, and it is an accomplishment, but I think, wow, what will happen 2 decades from now? Or what could happen a year from now? Or I look so frequently in our life of, had we put a restriction on time or how we thought it should look, how different our life would be. So I'm thankful that we didn't do that. Today they talked about the speech on The View, and Joy Behar referenced a quote that I've referenced frequently because I have seen it to be true countless times. Nothing has a stronger influence on the life of a child than the unlived life of a parent. Carl Jung. I remember there were lots of times, and maybe some of you listening or watching can identify with, as being a mother, whether you're a single mother, or I've been both, a single mother, and I've been in a family situation where I have a husband and we're both working, and we've been blessed to be able to work from home, but there was still travel that was attached to what we do. And my point is, there was a guilt that came with it. Or, as I was raising, in particular, my oldest daughter, who I was a single mom, very young at 19, and to have her as she became an adult, and now our other kids have come and said the same thing, how much it meant to them to see me, their mom, have things that I was passionate about. And it doesn't have to be that you have your own business. I've had multiple businesses in varying degrees. I've had traditional businesses. I've had little side gigs. I've been in network marketing and worked my way up there. I've just always had my hands in a lot of things and just followed my passion. I have a family member who recently took on a new hobby, and she's become super passionate about it. And she's over 50, and yet it's brought this new spark, this new life, this new fun thing that's attached to everything else that she does. And I think that's great. It's great for her. It's great for the people in her life that love her to see her take on this new thing. And I just think it's so powerful. And in today's world, everything moves so fast and it's ever changing, and opportunities are more open and tangible. In the modeling world, things have changed, in music and entertainment and just everything, really. When you sit and just really think about all the things that have changed, it's powerful. And at the beginning of the year, it's the perfect time to sit and to think, what thing have I not done yet? Or what passion did I have previously that I've kind of let go to the wind? Or what kind of business have I always kind of dreamed of doing? Or whatever it is. There's so many independent contractor type of work now, or workspaces that are flexible, that you can commune with other people. It just seems like it's the perfect time to evaluate that and look at the possibility of what can be. Another great interview last night was on the red carpet. Ryan Seacrest interviewed Lady Gaga, who just looked amazing. I just thought she just looked magical, and it was cool to have the interview with them and for her to share, which I'd heard before, but it was neat to hear her say it, in real time, that originally really her passion was acting, and everyone kind of told her, you can't really do that, and that's not really for you. And that then she entered into music, and obviously did extremely well. And I love the fact that she's always evolving. There's an evolution of of her style, of the type of music that she sings, just everything. She's just a fascinating woman. And then, interestingly enough, the music brings her back around. She won the Golden Globe for a song from A Star is Born. But the real fascinating thing to me is that it brought her back to what was her first love, which was acting. And they talked about what it was to learn that and the process. And she talked about her acting coach, and I loved this too. She talked about the acting coach and the things that she learned, and that she was being pushed to be better and to do more. And she literally said, I learned how to go to the nectar of my being. I was like, the nectar of your being. Wow. It stopped me. I'm like, what? I want to remember that. I want to write that in my journal. That the nectar of my being, of who I am, of who you are, who you're supposed to be, what are those magical little things that are at the core of who you are, and how important it is to have your personal journey take you there and allow yourself to be there. And that was the beautiful thing of Glenn's acceptance speech is for her to say, I should be allowed to do that. But sometimes, sadly, we put the limitations on ourselves from doing that. But it's never too late to pick it up again. I wanted to share this this is a great book. I got it a few years ago. Katie Couric, The Best Advice I Ever Got, Lessons from Extraordinary Lives. And I loved this quote. I thought it was really appropriate along this same topic. This is from Anna Quinlan, who's a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist. And it goes along with just finding you. I feel like every podcast that I've ever done, there is a siren in the background. Isn't it funny, hon? When we were in LA with Tiana, there was a siren, and now here we go. So here's the quote. Wow, that sounds really close. Oh, I see it. Is it a fire truck? Ambulance. Dear Lord, help whoever that is going to. Okay. Acts of bravery don't always take place on battlefields. They can take place in your heart when you have the courage to honor your character, your intellect, your inclinations, and yes, your soul, by listening to its clean, clear voice of direction instead of following the muddied messages of a timid world. So carry your courage in an easily accessible place, the way you do your cell phone or your wallet. You may still falter or fail, but you will always know that you pushed hard and aimed high. Take a leap of faith, fear not. Courage is the ultimate career move. Amen. It's the truth, and it's never too late. And I realized, in my writing that I had literally put it aside. I can see in the time of when I let it go. And I'm okay with it. There was a lot in our family that I know that priority-wise, there were other priorities. But to not go, oh, I did that before and now I'm not writing anymore, to go, you know what? I took some time away from it. It's what I needed to do, but now I'm ready to pick it back up and do it all again. It feels liberating and inspiring. And I have so much more to write about of what has happened in those 3 years. So my challenge to you, my encouragement to you as we enter into this new year is very simple. I love the power of a journal. I have multiple journals because it allows a time to kind of connect with that nectar of your being and revisit maybe things that have been put on the shelf, or maybe they're passions that you've never had the bravery to pick up and go for. A new year is always a good time to just face it and say, what do I have to lose? Absolutely nothing. I'm just going to pick up this next project or try this new business or do something wonderful. And what that does for the people around you, if you're a mother, if you're a parent, it inspires your children, it inspires other people. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? I'm happy to be in my new year of doing Mother Mary Monday, and I can't wait to talk to you next Monday. Make it a great week. You didn't fall asleep this time, honey.